right, welcome everyone to Paradigm of Profit. It's our inaugural show, and we're excited to be here with you this afternoon with Dr. Sunita Trevino, and of course the owner of Sangria on the Burg, Mr. Cesar Zepeda. So, welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in. How are you guys doing this afternoon?
Doing awesome.
Okay, good. I know that you're running a gun, you got an appointment, so we're going to try to get some of this juice, this amazing intellect and talent that you've got, and get it out there for all the other entrepreneurs to benefit from, if that sounds good. So, as I mentioned, we're with Cesar Zepeda with Sangria on the Burg, Sunita, and, or do you want me to call you doctor? What do you prefer?
Doctor for you.
Doctor, all right.
Everybody
so
else
doctor, we'll say doctor. But we're going to learn a little bit about Cesar this afternoon, but before we do that, let's go ahead and show you a little bit of the behind-the-scenes footage that we captured just a couple of days ago.
Yep.
My name is Cesar Zepeda, and I'm owner of Sangria on the Burg restaurant. This has been a dream for a long time, so doing this for my family and this actually happening. On one side, it's great, you know, success and doing what I've always wanted to do, but also the time it takes away is it has to be a balance, and finding that balance has been a challenge. Two of y'all take a break, and one of y'all be on. I have great people working here, and they have families too, so we try to help each other, make sure that we can still do this and have a successful family life as well. My grandma would give me recipes. I wasn't as good as her for years, and finally I figured out the little tricks that make it special, and that's what we do now. So I think the most important thing, we've talked about it before, is hiring well, getting people in here to do the job, to do your job. So you're hiring somebody, you know, you're training right now, someone else to do your job, and hopefully we have someone to follow them. It's hiring. It's the main thing here is we hire good people. I think that's, everybody asks me how I'm successful. I think only because I hire good people. So that's what I need you to do. That's what's going to take us to the next level. Of course. I think that's why I do it. It's instant gratification. You give a customer a good meal, and they don't even have to say anything. The look on their face, the way they react to great food or a great drink. Some of them close their eyes, just like, wow. I think that's probably the most attractive thing to me. I get to see instantly that I'm making this person's day better, and it's the most fulfilling thing I've ever done.
What does it take to be an entrepreneur? And I saw it in you. And so I'm so excited that you're actually part of our launch on this. I think you epitomize the right thing. I see you with family. I see you spending time in your business, and you balance it all. So in one sentence, tell us a little bit about, you know, your business. What would you say?
Sure, we're a neighborhood business. I always say we serve San Antonio style food, things that are familiar to us but with a little twist. Sangria obviously is the name, but it's also what we make. Fresh juices, fresh margaritas. Kind of do things the hard way, little old school style, but I think that's what works, and that's what I've been taught, and that's what Sangria strives to be.
Yeah, and you know, the research that we're doing finds that when we take what we're passionate about and what as our purpose, right, on this planet, like as a person. So what would you say, and you know, we don't expect it to be perfect, we're alive today, what's the mission, do you think, of Sangria and your business?
Oh man, I want to be here to serve my community, and not just obviously serving food and serving drinks, but also being a good boss, being here for my staff, and hopefully them growing with me, and it's a team. It's not called Caesar's. It's called Sangria, and it's Team Sangria that keeps this place going. And I love employing people. That's been probably the most giving thing to me that I take away from it every day. Ups and downs, of course, like everything else. But I think our mission is just to be a stable for San Antonio, a place they can come in and know they're going to have good service and who I like that Cheers effect. Who doesn't like that? Know their name and know when they come in and have a place where they can come in and feel comfortable, be themselves, and feel like they can bring the rest of their family and friends here as well.
That is phenomenal. And I was writing, as you were speaking, and if you can listen, and we're going to be talking more and more about this, is everyone has values, and your values were created from your past. And we know this in neuroscience and just basic psychology. But you can hear Cesar's values, and you hear community, and you hear team, and you hear, he said, this isn't Sangria, this is team Sangria. And you can hear that when he said staple, I'm telling you, that's what he's passionate about. It always works out. And what you really have here is a man that you are living your values, what really matters to you. And that's why this is successful and it's going to continue to be successful, because you put your stamp on it and you're really living what matters to you. So how long have you been in business?
This September will be 2 years.
Excellent. And how many locations do you have right now?
This is the only location. We have 2 other concepts in the works.
Excellent, excellent. And I'm going to tell you, for those of you that have your first business or working, I'm willing to bet you that as Cesar opens future locations, you're going to see the same values, because that's what matters to him, and that's the winning formula. Our show is about the paradigm of profit. What we're trying to tell you is that there is a formula to success, and it's about purpose, passion, and that's what turns into profit. And you can see it right here. So why did you decide to start your own business?
I wanted to do it right out of high school. Obviously, it's great that I didn't. It's my goal. It's been my goal since the beginning. I think out of high school I wanted to do nightclubs because I was going out a lot, But later on, as I got into the culinary world and finished college, and I worked with great chefs and great entrepreneurs in the industry, like I knew this is all I wanted to do. If you would have told me it'd take 20 years to do it, I would have called you a liar. But it did. But every lesson that I listened to got closer to what I was going to do. So.
That's excellent. Can you remember that moment when you decided, I got to own my own business? Like, if you could say where it was, or like it just kind of clicked?
I worked for the Cafe and Susie Lawton over at La Fonda for 12 years. And I remember at one point, whenever, it's kind of like playing sports. With sports, is huge for me, and it's when the game slows down for you. It's like, you watch a pitcher or any team when the game slows down and you really get good. Where I got to the point where I was kind of around looking at what we built at La Fonda on Main, and it just seemed like, okay, I'm ready. This place is running great. I kind of don't even need to be here anymore for it to run. I've built a team and I built a culture, and I knew I was ready at that point.
Excellent words. I heard team, culture. These are very, as we're studying business success, we're learning that it's about team and it's about building a culture. So it seems like when you decided to break out on your own, it was time for you. You saw that you had proven success. You knew that you could do it. Excellent. So what would you say is your niche then?
Oh, it's about fresh. If anybody say I had a superpower, I hire well. I try to bring people with like-minded goals, understand what I understand the level we want to do it at, which is really high. We don't cut corners. And if you have a team all that everybody believes like that, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's going to be very difficult for you. So I think our niche is a great people that we have here.
Yeah, and there's actually research out there. If anybody watches Simon Sinek's talk, when he talks about the law of diffusion, and what we realize is that bringing together like-minded people, Cesar, and you say things, and the first time I met you, and then in subsequent interviews, just like gold nuggets come out of your mouth. And I don't know if you know or where you learned that. For example, the idea of hiring like-minded people and building this camaraderie and culture. Did you learn that from somebody? Did you just kind of pick that up through osmosis?
I did, a lot of it was through failures, through hiring people that, I thought I could change, or I thought, eventually I could make them see like me. But I think if we don't start off with that, your journey's going to be hard, your job's hard. So, and, all through, Cappy Lawton taught me a lot of it, where he's, hiring well, hiring up, hiring the next manager is what you should do. And I try to teach that to my guys now. It's, ask them, hey, I got this guy I'm interested in. It's like, will he or she be our next manager?
Right.
Sometimes the answer is no. It's like, well, then we should find that.
That's
so.
Smart.
It was a combination. I love reading. I read a lot. I read a lot of business, a lot of restaurant books, but a lot of business books. And I've always been trying to continue my education on that.
That's excellent. That's really phenomenal. So, what sets you apart from your competition, do you think?
A lot of it is that I'm here. I am involved. I think and I also not only here just to do it my way, but also to take what my teams have been doing. Shep brings something to me, an idea that we want to do. I was like, that's awesome. Something that the staff, brings to my attention. I really try to think about it, and, don't just kick to the side. Like, you know what? You're right. We should change things, and being willing to adapt. In this industry, it's changing all the time. You have to keep up with Instagram, Facebook. It's I'm a marketer and a writer more than I'm doing a lot of other things now. But always being willing to change is important.
That's phenomenal. And that, again, inclusion and what you said is about being here. One of the things that you think is your niche is that you're in the business. I mean, you're really here. You do your own content. You put stuff out there about your work and what's going on over here, and that's phenomenal. You're very involved. Again, I think that's another value. And when you build a business or do any venture that you're up to along what matters to you, what a lot of people don't know, Cesar, actually is, and I think you've mastered this, is a lot of the public doesn't know what really matters to them. How did you find out what really mattered to you? Was there just times, or just were you always just
to our guests?
To your guests, to you as a person. How did you know?
I think hospitality and I'm a little selfish in the fact that I love making a drink and watching people try it, or making a dish and watching people try it. There's not many industries where you can have like instantaneous gratification, right? Where you see people, they close their eyes, they either like, oh my God, it's delicious.
Yeah.
I'm lucky in the fact that I get to see that, and that's on my side. I think that I see people do that. It's attractive. It's addicting.
Yeah.
It's like,
okay,
man,
so
you want that so much.
What you see here, guys, is flow. In the world of business, this is called flow. Google flow, and you're gonna see when he lights up and he's talking about serving a drink to somebody. That's not only his values, but that's a personal stand. Actually, Cesar, I know we haven't talked a lot about it, but in your brain, what's actually happening, and you can see it. Anybody that was watching as you talked about it, you're just lighting up. And so I was asking Cesar, how do you know what matters to you, and how do you know what's important to you? That's an indicator. I don't know if you guys watched him as he was speaking. Talk to me, let's do it again. I want you really to get this. I want the audience to get this. Tell me about a time, an incident, where time stood still for you. Like you could have kept doing what you were doing. Where were you, and I know there's many, but if you could choose one, it's like, man, this is what I want to do. Where were you, who were you with when that happened?
I think probably taking over La Fonda as a GM. And I probably wasn't ready, to be honest with you. I was young, I think I was like 23 years old, and taking over this huge business with 60, 70 employees.
Sure.
And then going through and I was like, well, how do I get them to follow me?
Yeah.
So young guys, people all older than me, and it was so I remember one night I cleaned the kitchen, like me and two guys, all night.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to get them to clean it, so I was like, you know what? I know how to work hard. I cleaned the whole kitchen. As everybody came in, their jaws dropped. Like, okay, I got you to where we need to be. This is the new standard. It took me all night. My hands were like bleeding. It was just like terrible. but to see them like, okay, this guy's for real. You know, he's willing to do the work. He's willing to come in here, and I think I really won over that team that day. So that was special to me.
Do you believe that work ethic actually has it been kind of, I guess, ingrained in your employees as well? Do you feel like it translates to the people that work around you as well?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it came from my dad. You know, it came from my dad, my parents. So, you know, it's that leader that's pointing, or that leader that's walking in front of everybody. Who do you want to be? Because I don't think they follow if you point and tell them what to do. You can, but it's not effective. Getting out there, grabbing the first thing, like, let's go. I'm doing it with y'all. We're here. I think it definitely makes a huge difference, and they're gonna follow you then. They might do what you tell them to do,
sure,
but do they follow you? Probably not.
Probably not.
So I think it's the best way. I think it's the only way. I don't know how else you expect to lead a group.
Cesar, how many times did you try to open up a restaurant? You know, how many failures did you have?
I've never really counted them, but there was a number, and it was through the last couple of years at La Fonda. It was, you know, finding a location, and then they didn't want me because I wasn't proven. Getting the money, then the location fell down. The location wanted me, then the funding fell down. You know, breakups and groups that we had gotten together. So, and then some that I saw that weren't going to be good partnerships. Even though the money was there in the location, I had to end it because this isn't a good fit. So it was a number. It was a number of a couple of years of them, and just kept going, just kept trying, and I knew it was going to happen eventually, and the right thing was going to happen for us. So my family and I.
What taught you to view failure not as a stumbling block, but kind of as a stepping stone?
Well, you know, since college, I always thought the next goal was learning more. Learning for real hands-on. I worked for Lisa Wong over at Asanat, and I always saw it. So even the hard times where it was, you know, I was 23-year manager, got these terrible shifts that I got. I was that guy, like open and close all the time. But I was like, you know what? I'm getting paid to learn. I'm getting paid to learn, and I have to understand that. So, and then and I don't know, like that's just my mentality. I take it as, you know, okay, if I can take somebody from my failures, take things from my failures, and don't repeat them, or repeat them if they're successes. But I think most valuable thing for me is learning from other people's failures. You know, I worked for these great people. There was a lot of failures.
Yeah, no doubt.
A lot of mistakes. So I took those as free education. And then, you know, I always know, for me it was learning and trying to get better, so I knew how to do this the right way.
Yeah. Now that you've had experienced, I guess, a measure of success, why don't you tell the viewers about how you feel about giving back to the community? Why is that so important to you?
That's huge. We did a lot of stuff with the hurricanes that came, and there's probably no better feeling than driving to, you know, a little town, Victoria, and taking some food and stuff over there for them. I told my wife, like that's a huge part of my success is being able to give back. And I don't know, if you haven't done it, just get out there and volunteer somewhere to do it. I think it gives you much more than you give them. So it's a huge part of why I do this and what I try to do.
Sunita, I know that you focus quite a bit on social entrepreneurship. So what, I guess, kind of encapsulate, put it all in perspective, what Cesar just mentioned about giving back. Why is that so important for entrepreneurs who want to be successful?
Social entrepreneurship is really where an individual or organization exists to solve a problem. Now, what we have here is magic, because Cesar, whether he realizes it or not just yet, he's always been, he's seen, his values are to lead. And you can hear it when he talks about, we talked about his greatest moments, and those are called teaching moments. And if you literally open the brain, that moment when he cleaned the kitchen, okay, I bet you there's like a neuron that thick, okay? Because it actually, it is symbolic of what really matters to him, and that's when he gets into flow. And then again, when you listen to him and he talks about, you know, when the hurricanes hit and being able to give back. So Cesar's values are leadership and contribution, and so it works really well in the social entrepreneur model. Now, not everybody has those values, okay, or is clear about them as Cesar you are. So he is a social entrepreneur, and we don't really have to say that Sangria is solving a problem, because it's his values. Does that make sense?
Right.
It's just the way he rolls. It's what you do. Now, but social entrepreneurship is when you actually take something in your community and you solve a problem, or something in your world. And I'm going to tell you, there's research out there, it's called Born to Be Good, out of Berkeley University, that says as human beings, we are born, we have a propensity to be altruistic. He's gotten in touch with that.
Yeah.
Like, he's really clear about leading. He's really clear about, he says he loves to employ people. This dude is solving a problem, and I don't know if he knows that he's a social entrepreneur, but he is, and he's in his core, and it's based on his values. But if you are not clear about that, get clear. It is in the DNA. It is what you're geared to do. Maslow's hierarchy, right? Maslow tells us that we have to have food and shelter and basic things, be able to pay bills before we pursue self-actualization. What we are telling you guys is that if you pursue self-actualization, being the best that you can be, profits will follow. And Cesar, you are, I mean, like, spot on an example of what we tell people: be the best that you can be, money will follow. Money follows passion. And you know, we've talked about that a lot, Carla, and you're a full example of that. You did what matters to you, and here it is, and we're sitting in it, and we're experiencing it. And I'll tell you what, you are a staple for me. My office is right across the street, and when I just need some downtime and I need to feel like my world works, I sit in here, and it really does, it grounds me. So you did it. You really delivered on what mattered to you.
Yeah, well, those are all great points, and again, this is the type of content that you all will be receiving and hearing and learning every single week here at Paradigm of Profit. We've got individuals like Cesar out here, like so many others that, you know, are giving everything they've got to pursue their entrepreneurial dream, and they're having a measure of success. Well, what's the common denominator? You know, how have they managed to combine their purpose and their passion to create profits that you know, are a lot greater than maybe they had in the past? Well, that's what we're going to continue to bring you. We want to thank Cesar Zepeda from Sangria on the Burg. As Sunita mentioned, this is an incredible place that you have to come and visit. Now, for the viewers at home, what's the address here?
It's 5115 Fredericksburg Road, right here close to the medical center. We're a mile away from medical, close to Fredericksburg, on Fredericksburg, but close to 410 as well. And a really great part of town.
And we can follow you on social media. Can we do that?
Yeah, you're on, let me go ahead and see if I've got that for you. In the meantime, why don't you go ahead and tell folks about next week?
To me?
Yeah.
Okay. Next week, we're going to be featuring another group of entrepreneurs, a husband and wife couple, amazing. They started with one location, American Cookies, and then went on to have Marble Slab and add to that. Today, actually, we were supposed to talk to them, but their ice cream machine, the freezer broke down, so they are there, like true entrepreneurs, dealing with doing whatever it takes to make it work. Yeah. And here we are a few days before the 4th of July, and ice cream is melting. Heaven forbid, ice cream is melting.
It's the ice cream shop owners' like worst nightmare for sure. You were asking about their Facebook username, and so we can find them here on Facebook at Sangria on the Burg. And make sure that you give them a page like, make sure you subscribe to the page so that you get all the notifications of any specials and deals that they've got going on, and also, you know, any special events. I know you guys were showing the World Cup a little while ago, and sorry, Mexico fans, it doesn't look like they're going to be moving any further, but that's okay. There's always next year, right? So on behalf of all of us here at Paradigm of Profit, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. Yep. And remember, every Monday at 11:30 a.m., we'll be live from a business here in San Antonio. And we hope to bring you, again, what that common denominator of success is, so that you can continue to learn, you can continue to grow, and above all, so that you can continue to combine your purpose and your passion and increase your profits. So without further ado, is there anything else that you want to say, Sunita?
Actually, I'm speechless at the moment, but I will tell you that there's so much more that we're going to be covering. And you know what? San Antonio is just a start. There are organizations out there that I think you and I are going to be able to impact, and we want to bring, I'm from India, want to bring that to you, want to bring what's happening on a global scale. And what you're going to see is there are tons of people like Cesar out there trying to make a difference. And I wanted to also let people know, it may sound like it's all about profit, but it's really about value. Deliver value and profits will come too.
Yep. Well, that's great advice, guys. And again, you're going to continue to learn with us here every single Monday at 11:30 on Paradigm of Profits. Make sure you give us a like or a follow here at Paradigm of Profit on Facebook. You can do the same thing on Instagram. And so again, we want to thank you guys for being live with us here at Sangria.
And thank you, Cesar.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.